The podcast you are about to listen to is one of the many podcasts that is part of the College Huddle, the largest fan-led college sports podcast community on the internet. Fan-made, fan-driven, and fan-fueled. The College Huddle.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up, shoved it up. It got shoved, right?
Good evening, Spartans fans. It is the Spartan Savants Show, episode 49. Willy, Nicky, Trav coming to you on a Wednesday evening here. Well, by the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be Thursday. But anyway, 49th episode, approaching 50. A pleasure to be here. Michigan State, Penn State at halftime in basketball right now. Spartans look to be cruising yet again. How we doing, boys? How's it going?
Go ahead, Nicky.
I mean, Michigan State won 9 straight. It's how life should be.
Yeah, it's pretty good right now.
Yeah, I really was. Someone mentioned this right before we started recording, but like I'm trying to think with the last time we won 9 straight games in basketball.
Yeah,
certainly wasn't last year.
Nope. Can't think of it off the top of my head. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's a fun team to watch. I kind of like I like enjoy watching this team the way it's constructed. I mean, it would be nice to have a go-to guy that could, cruise to 20 points a night on most nights, but kind of like watching this like group of guys that's kind of all averaging around 8 or 9 points, and then every other game is somebody else.
Yeah, the balance is great, and the fact that there were no expectations going into this season, I think, is extremely helpful.
Yeah,
it didn't have the pressure of being a top 4 team starting the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we're playing like I haven't seen a lot of the rest of the country, but playing like we could break into the top 4. Knock on wood.
Yeah, we seem to do better in those spots, but don't want to use up all the basketball talk before we get to this part of the show where we're supposed to talk about basketball. Got some light football news. Kind of started to hit that quiet time for football. We'll talk about the college football national championship a little bit. We'll dive deeper into basketball, check in on where everyone's at with that. Then the picks, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll talk some Lions towards the end. But MSU football, another off the field win, grabbing transfer portal offensive lineman out of Montana State, Connor Moore. He was the 11th ranked. He is the 11th ranked offensive lineman transfer. He was the number 1 ranked that was still available. Like I said, coming from Montana State, I think he's got 3 years of eligibility left, which I think is huge. 2 years?
That's two.
That's still better than 1. It's 2 years of eligibility left, coming from a FCS team that's had a lot of success over the past couple of years. Seemed like, I mean, it's always encouraging when there's teams like Ohio State and SEC schools going after guys that we end up getting. But he visited East Lansing. I think Friday night was his first night, and I think he was supposed to head to Columbus the next day and just cancel the trip outright, which I think that was a pretty good sign. But Trav, what are your thoughts on the newest edition?
Yeah, like you said, it's a great sign that we were able to get him to cancel a visit with Ohio State. And obviously we needed bodies on the offensive line. That's a huge spot that we needed improvement. So I haven't really watched him play at all, but the fact that we were able to beat out all those schools, end up signing him, particularly when he was the best remaining offensive lineman in the portal, was just a good sign of the work that Coach Jonathan Smith's doing over there. Yeah,
absolutely. Nicky, any thoughts?
I agree totally. The MSU to MSU pipeline starting strong. And another example, like I was saying before, how we had a lot of guys playing in like the high school state championships. Like just another guy who's a winner. This guy was in the
Yeah.
national championship at least once. Like I don't know he was this year. Didn't they win the national championship?
No,
Or they lose?
they lost. North Dakota State won
North
the
Dakota
national
State.
championship.
Yeah.
But
Of
still,
course they did.
playing in a natty, like again, more just winning guys. And
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that his childhood school was MSU. That's just
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a true-
Bringing guys in that have won games, no matter where they are, starts breeding a winning culture, and that's what we need.
Yep. FCS All American. He's played 904 total snaps, so brings some experience. And like I said, 2 years of eligibility means we have a little more time to develop him. Unlike some of the guys we had last year, who were great players, but with offensive line, you like to have more than 1 year to learn the system and kind of have develop in your program. So a big get for MSU, I think. Like you said, Trav, especially with the needed offensive line. I think we should be excited about that one.
Agreed.
But in other football news, I don't know the exact number of early enrollees, but I think it was 17 or something like that. The list of transfers here, obviously incoming freshmen as well. A solid group of guys. I think I've got my eyes on a couple, but looking through the list, and this could be transfer or freshman. Who would you guys think is the most impactful? Nicky, I'll start with you. Or who do you think is going to be the biggest? End up being the best out of this group?
Oh man, the best.
Well, the most impactful.
I think like a big instant impact guy might be this is one of the wide receivers, Rodney Bullard. He's at a couple of 1,000-yard like he just has good stats. He's a couple of 1,000 receiving yard seasons. He's a lead. I think he was like all conference rusher or like kick returner and all conference receiver. So like dual threat kind of reminds me of Jaden Reed that way. I think even though he's not like McCray or Kelly, who I feel like got more like hype around them, I think this guy will be really solid.
Interesting. Out of Valdosta State. What about freshmen? We can pick one of each.
Oh, okay.
The freshman might be a little easier, but it might end up all having the same. But we'll roll with it.
So freshman, you know what? Of the early enrollees, I'm gonna say, you know what? Not instant impacts, but I think Leo Hannon's gonna be a guy.
I love it. I love it. I like
that
mine.
pick. Yeah.
I really hope he ends up being good. Trev, what about you?
Well, for the transfer, I don't know how much. Like, I don't know what the backfield is going to look like. The rotation is going to look like next year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a guy who came from the same school as one Cam Scattaboo that is now in our backfield in Elijah Tolliver. I don't have his stats off the top of my head, but we needed bodies everywhere. We needed playmakers at running back.
Yeah.
You saw what his I believe I don't know what years are there, but I imagine they're former teammates. So you saw what Scattaboo did at Arizona State.
Yeah.
Don't set the expectations that high because that's a lot of pressure on the guy. But
right.
If one Sacramento State guy can make an impact in a Power 4 conference, then why can't another one?
Especially in a backfield that's dying for experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Freshman, I'm gonna go like the kind of what Nicky was saying about Rodney Bullard. I'm gonna go with Braylon Collier, wide receiver. We don't have a lot of receivers coming in here as freshmen, and that's a position we needed bodies. And if you see the stuff on Twitter, he's constantly making impacts and is excited to be part of the program and was one of our early commits. So hopefully when he gets his chance to get on the field, we'll see what he can do.
Absolutely. I think a lot to look forward to this freshman class. It may not be a class that's heavy with instant impact, but it seems like it's a class that Smith believes that he can develop pretty well. I'm going to go on a similar route as Nicky, and this might be the low-hanging fruit, but I think Amari Kelly in terms of the transfer, most impactful. I mean, we talked about the receivers that the receiving room just needing bodies. And this is a guy that would have, if any of our receivers outside of Nick Marsh were to enter the portal, he would have been ranked ahead of all of them. So, an upgrade certainly at that position. Obviously, a guy that can make plays in a position of big need. Freshman, this is a kind of a crapshoot, of course. Again, probably the low-hanging fruit, Derek Simmons, a guy that was pretty highly rated out of Frankenmuth, Michigan. Obviously probably beat out some pretty good schools to get him. So looking forward to see what he can do. I think MSU, outside of last year has had pretty solid defensive lines. They've had a lot of, names come in and out. You go to the Antonio years, obviously Golston and those guys. And, even with the Mel Tucker years, the guys that transferred out, Harmon and
Barrow.
Yeah, Barrow. Both are going to probably get drafted. So a track record of success, obviously a whole new coaching staff, but I'm kind of hoping that he can kind of follow in that line of past success at that position. But lots to look forward to, I think. I think it's kind of that time where you start to get hopeful. The taste of last season's kind of left our mouths, and we'll probably be 3-3 heading into week 7 next year.
It's a little less painful right now.
Well, right now,
maybe with one fewer 35-point loss.
Right now, sky's the limit.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We're doing this.
You look at some of these teams that, thinking back to this past season, like these teams that didn't have great years last year turns around. Like Arizona State came out of nowhere. SMU, I don't really know if they came out of nowhere. They were pretty good the year before, but the path
conference champion the year before.
The path to making the playoffs with 12 teams makes it pretty wide open. I mean, with the transfer portal, you can really turn a program around pretty quickly. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I think there's hope.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Why the hell not?
Give them a stake,
Yeah, right. Speaking of the playoffs, we've got the national championship coming up on Monday. It went how we thought it would go. Ohio State took down Texas pretty convincingly. I mean, it was a 14-point game, I think, but never really felt all that close.
Texas had a couple plays to get in it, but they screwed it all up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like they were there, but it was always like, I don't know. I thought Ewers played terrible, especially in the first half. I mean, really just could not. He was holding onto the ball, didn't seem comfortable at all. And, Texas got back into it, and then they gave that huge screenplay. I don't know how you're not ready for that. I mean, that's like the play 1A you run in that situation.
You run something that's going to maybe get you some yards, but probably not. And if it does, then you keep going. Yeah.
I don't know how you don't tell the guys as they go onto the field, hey, let's be aware of a screen. Like that would be the first thing I would say. But then the other game, this was probably the best game of the playoffs. Maybe besides Texas, Arizona State, was the Notre Dame Penn State game. Boring game, but close at the end. Obviously, we avoided the national nightmare of having James Franklin in a.
Thank God.
Yeah,
put on this earth to lose. Pretty big.
Yeah, like 1-15 versus top 5 teams or something.
I think so. Tucker has the same amount of wins against top 10 teams.
Yeah,
that's this season, right?
Yeah. So we avoided that nightmare. I'm not going to say it's my favorite 2 teams. It's really hard to decide who to root for. I think I'm a root for the Big Ten and root for Ohio State. But, Travis, what are your thoughts on this game? Any takeaways from the previous games or thoughts on the championship game?
Yeah, like you said, the semifinals all went the way we thought they would. Texas did have those couple of plays where they could get in it, but the terrible play call on 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. First of all, you pitch the ball 6 yards back. I mean, I don't care if you get stuffed on that play. You got 4 plays to score from 1 yard out. Don't go backwards. Find find a way to get into the end zone.
Yeah.
Even if they stop you, You don't deserve to win it anyway.
Right.
The other game, exactly what we expected. You said it was boring. That's Penn State and Notre Dame football to a T. It's grinded out, old school Midwest Big Ten football, even though Notre Dame's not in the Big Ten.
Right.
This game, championship, I think as a Spartan, I think the only decision is to root for Ohio State. You can't be on, like, as much as you can like Marcus Freeman, you can't be on Notre Dame's side here. That's painful. We might not play each other as often anymore. It's still a rivalry. There's still
Notre Dame.
They're still in a rough. Go ahead, Nicky.
Notre Dame is just Michigan, but like better jerseys.
It's private school. It's private school Michigan. Yeah.
Religious Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So it's that would leave a horrible taste in my mouth. I mean, I remember when they went against Alabama when Manti Te'o was there when we were freshmen in college, and the entire campus was Bama better kick their fucking asses, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So I don't think Also, I think they're kind of too one-dimensional to take down Ohio State. Ohio State's rolling, and I have a hard time seeing them keep it up in this one. Just my thought, just my opinion there. But
yeah, I would agree. I've obviously watched more Notre Dame as of late because of where they're at. They've obviously come a long way from when they lost to Northern Illinois the weekend of Nicky's wedding. But I was surprised at how kind of weak of a passing game they have. I mean, I know Leonard isn't exactly known as a great passer, but I mean, he was pretty highly sought after quarterback out of the transfer portal. And they just don't seem to pass the ball very effectively. But Marcus Freeman's done a great job. But I'm with you, Trav. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. I'm just hoping for a good game. But Nicky, what about you? Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to root for Ohio State, like you were saying. Like, again, Notre Dame just Notre Dame. If I would hate them more if Michigan didn't exist. Like, they would be my most hated team.
Yeah.
But
if Michigan and Notre Dame won back-to-back championships, that would just be
despicable.
Rough.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Rough.
Tough sledding.
And one thing that's just weird is like Ohio State didn't even play in the Big Ten championship game, and like they're gonna probably win the national title.
Right.
Like I don't really hate the 12-team playoff. I get it, but one thing I don't like about it is the fact that like the rivalries and stuff like don't really matter as much, because like Michigan could have effectively ended their season, but now they're going to win the national title anyway. So it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of the
Fair
fun
point.
of being a shitty team, like how we've been the past 3 years, where it's like, if we beat Michigan, at least that would have ended their season. And like, and now it's like,
yeah, I think there's plenty of criticism for the 12-team playoff. I don't love it. I mean, I love that college football season gets extended and we get extra big games, but like you said, it kind of takes the weight out of some of the normal big games that you would have, like Michigan, Ohio State. I think this double-edged sword a little bit. I think there's things they could tweak to make it a little better. But you know, I don't know. If anything, they're probably going to expand it eventually. Or
this game got a lot closer.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
This is not good.
Okay. But yeah. Anyways, one thing I want to talk about: Marcus Freeman and Steve Sarkisian are both getting talked about for NFL jobs. Do you think either of them would leave their current situation for the NFL?
I don't know. I feel like Sark might for the right opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel it like I know there's a lot of names being mentioned for the Cowboys. I feel like he wouldn't leave for the Cowboys, but I feel like that's a move Jerry would try to make.
Yeah.
Like the big splash with that.
Yeah.
With like they'd be talking about with Dion and all that.
Yeah.
Some kind of hire like that where he's swinging for the fences to try to win the fans back.
Yeah.
Especially screwing the pooch on waiting a week to fire McCarthy.
That was silly. That was so silly. He kind of screwed them both over.
Oh yeah.
But Yeah, I think Sark more likely than Freeman. Freeman's young. I mean, the NFL it's going to be there. I think if he can. I think he's kind of just getting the ball rolling at Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he would go. It's his program, and he's got everything in the palm of his hand right now.
Yeah. What about Ewers? Where do you think he falls in terms of the draft?
I think he's going to change his mind and transfer.
I think so. I can see that too.
I saw like second and third round grades on him.
That sounds about right.
From most of the experts. That's what Mel Kiper was saying when he was saying that he thinks Ewers should go back to school and transfer.
Yeah, so that makes most sense, I think.
Yeah. So,
the rumors are saying that like he could make $4 million to $6 million at another school. Like that's twice as much as a second round draft pick makes. Like,
dude, that's a lot of money that's what Miami's paying. What's his name?
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck. Yeah,
crazy.
He should get more than Carson Beck. Like he didn't play well, but overall, I think he's better than Carson Beck.
I agree. I think he's definitely better, at least for the college game. It seems like he's better. Akins for 3. Oh, got it. What is the deal? So he would, if he declares the draft, then he would transfer, but decides he doesn't want to go. He could transfer during the second portal window period.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm totally lost on those right now.
And I saw that the college coaches just voted to limit to one portal period for like 10 days in January or something.
So that's a proposal that they've suggested to committee.
Oh, they should do it.
They're not like, it's nothing like official that's under consideration.
Gotcha.
Okay, this is gonna make me sound like a huge pussy, but I kind of think the only portal window should be in the spring after, because it's in between school years. Because I feel like you gotta at least have the illusion that there's some.
Yeah.
Most people who enter are also never going to play football again.
Yeah,
a large percentage of people.
Well, then there's obvious tampering with certain situations. It's you got to make it a little less obvious, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. The one thing I really don't like about the spring transfer portal, if that were to be the only one, is it's kind of late, and you have a guy all spring for spring practice, and then all of a sudden he leaves, and then whoever you end up replacing him with doesn't have that same time to get the reps and build up. I mean, I guess they have summer and the official practices, but that's way less time than you would have starting in January.
Okay, I have an idea. This would be crazy, but it would add more parity, I think, to college football. So only transfer portal is in January, and if you're in the playoffs, you just don't. You just can't get transfers until the spring, but you get your own spring portal. So it's kind of like the draft almost. It's like you made the playoffs, but you don't get to just plug and play.
So there's separate windows, but one of them's only a 12-team window.
Yeah, I didn't think.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, the other people could. I think you'd still have the spring portal open for the other teams, too.
I don't think that didn't sound like what Nicky was saying, but okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't really.
So you can only transfer to the other 12 teams that made the playoffs.
He was saying.
Oh no! Yeah, you're right. You're right, Willy. You're right.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I was trying to get Yeah, never mind. It was not a good idea.
I think there needs to be at some point an incentive for people to stay outside of having to pay them more money.
Yeah. It can't just be about money. And
this free agency, I feel like we're always in some transfer portal window. I know there's only 2, but it's just it's too much. It's too much.
What if someone what if this would be hilarious? What if Will Howard today just said, "I'm opting out unless I get $2 million of NIL right now"?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There was actually a movie that came out about that. It was a fictional team where their star running back opted out of the championship because he wasn't getting paid enough.
Oh, never heard of that.
Yeah, I watched it on a plane one time because it was like, oh, football movie, and he's like holding out in the hotel, avoiding all the coaches and stuff, and
That's funny.
That person.
They're on radio interviews, and I think J.K. Simmons was the guy that played the coach, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. It's his decision. Like,
Nice. I think now that J.K. Simmons that I can picture it now. Nice three.
Yeah.
Right before we move on to Michigan State basketball, obviously just want to give a shout out to the OHIO podcast. Congratulate them on Ohio State making it to the finals. Wishing them all the best. They've been a great partner for us, coming on a couple times and having us on. So, congrats to them. Moving on to basketball. This game now 7 points. Michigan State up. Got close there for a second. I think it was down to 2. But the team just keeps on rolling. I mean, last week, Friday night, hosting Wisconsin or Washington. I mean, Washington had 1 point in the first 10 minutes of the game. So I guess Danny Sprinkle didn't have the guys ready to play. Came in a little soft, like a ice cream
soft
sundae.
sprinkle. Yeah.
Speaking of names, this Penn State team, their players have great names.
Puff Johnson.
Puff Johnson. That's the Swedish made penis enlarger from Austin Powers.
That's great. I mean, we've had it's a good year for names. Great Ozabor was a good one for Washington. And then Michigan State went into the House of Horrors. Evanston beat down Northwestern on Sunday. I didn't watch too much of the game, I'll be honest. I know it kind of got dicey towards the end, but I saw I think we ended up winning by 10 points. If you guys maybe saw more than I did, but I saw an article that was like Michigan State survives, like we almost gave it away. It didn't feel like that was the case.
We played like crap in the second half. We should have won by like 30. So
Yeah.
I get where they're coming from when they say we survived, because at one point it kind of felt like, oh shit, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes a collapse.
If we didn't have the same teams we had the last 3 years, we would not think that there was any chance we would lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
That game, like that. First of all, that first half was like the best half of basketball I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like that was
maybe Washington. But.
Yeah. I mean, that was like in the second half we still played decent in some stretches. It was just like the last, I feel like 5 minutes, it got kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
It was raw, which was
they extended that game too long.
Yeah, took the air out of the ball a little early.
Yeah, but like there was never a doubt we were beating them.
Yeah, which I mean, look, in the Big Ten, you take a road win when you can get it. I mean, you don't. Yeah, I think you take those and run, as Connor Shantz would say. But we've talked about the February schedule coming up. Hopefully, this will take care of business here against Penn State. But again, I just want to check the pulse with you guys where you're at. Last week I think we were all kind of in that cautiously optimistic zone. Travis, any changes on your end?
I would say we're going upward. I don't know. Dan Campbell's got me doing this all the time now. So I would still categorize it as cautiously optimistic, but it grows with every game, every win. I mean, we win tonight. We're on a 10-game winning streak. That does a lot for my confidence. Like we were saying earlier, I love the way this team plays. It's just typical textbook Michigan State Tom Izzo basketball. There's athletes. There's not really one guy, not one guy carrying the team, but there's not really a guy who gets the ball in his hands. You're like, oh shit, get him off the floor like that. Yeah. There's guys that'll miss shots and aren't as offensively gifted, but it's not like we're like, why is he even on the team? And that's
right.
The past couple of years, we've had a couple guys like that. We're just like, get him off the team. We're a deep team, we're an athletic team, and it's fun to watch.
I agree. Nicky, what about you?
All right, so a couple things. I'm not going to say we're the best team in basketball, but I do think we might be the most fun team to watch in college basketball. We got Cohen Carr icing up and down. We've got just Jeremy Fears distributing the ball, like just huge plays, smothering defense. Wish we could hit some more threes, but like we're just a fun team to watch. And I'm not quite there to say, like, I'm not going to say the N-word yet. National title, to clarify. But
You kind of just did, yeah.
But I'm no longer cautiously optimistic. We are squarely competing for the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
And I think we can. And we can win it. And if we end up not winning it, I will be kind of disappointed. That's where I'm at.
I'm just trying to protect myself from disappointment. That's why I say cautiously optimistic.
That's fair. I mean, and there's a tough road ahead, no doubt. I mean, I think February, but they don't have to go undefeated in that 6 or 7 game stretch, whatever it is in February. But if they come out of that 5-2, 3-3, whatever, I don't know if it's 6 or 7 games, but 4-3, like that's fine. Like, look, they're going to play some tough teams. There's going to be some tough road games. Michigan looks really good. Let's just not mince words. They look really good. You know, they turned it around quickly. That coach did a nice job. I'm really looking forward to that game. But they come out of that with a couple losses. You know, as long as they avoid complete disaster, I think they're still going to be squarely kind of controlling their own destiny in the Big Ten unless something drastically changes. But I want to talk about Jeremy Fears for a little bit because there's been a lot of buzz lately. I mean, he seems to be really, taking on the leadership role of that classic Tom Izzo point guard. I saw John Rothstein compared to Cassius Winston. I don't know if it'll be the same type of. I mean, Cassius Winston was a great shooter, great scorer. I see more like Mateen Cleaves, but the leadership is there. Like we've talked about in the past couple episodes, just the offense looks totally different with him running, and it just at a pace we haven't really seen in a couple of years. I mean, his last 5 games, he's averaging 9 points and 8 assists, so basically a double-double. He's just really – I've been really impressed with him so far. I mean, he's got 7 points tonight, 3 assists. There's still 12 minutes left. So, you guys have any thoughts on Fears and what he means to this team, even as I think he's technically a freshman eligibility-wise, right?
Yeah, they got him the red shirt off of last year.
Yeah. Travis, I'll start with you.
I think it'll be a tragedy if we don't at least make a Final Four with him on the team.
That's tough.
I mean, just the way the classic point guards. I mean, all those point guards you mentioned have made it to one.
Yep.
Even a few guys that weren't necessarily thought of as highly as those guys at point guard have been good enough to get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
So obviously it takes more than just him. We need the guys around him. I think we're starting to build the guys around him. I think that we're definitely going to get there. If we don't, it's going to be one of those great tragedies, like when we had, I believe it was Appling and Payne as the first 2 4-year guys to miss a Final Four.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on that. I think he's a great player. I can't wait to see what he develops into after, this will be his first full year of college basketball, which is insane to think.
Yeah.
But he looks so good. And I don't know, like you said, the pace, he plays well. He knows what he's doing on the floor. The pace that he plays with is incredible.
Yeah.
And those leadership qualities are stuff that you can't just talk enough about.
Right.
And so and when, those numbers that you pointed out with what was it, 9 points and 8 assists?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Last 5 games.
The last time we had a point guard like that, I can't even remember. I'm sure Hogard probably had a couple games, but he didn't have the same intangibles and everything like that around, and the same personality and stuff like that. So
right. Yeah.
It's a good change of pace and breath of fresh air, basically.
I was just going to say, it's so nice.
He's going to go down as a great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so nice to have that Tom Izzo point guard again. He's aggressive, pushes the ball, the pace. Nicky, anything to add?
I mean, yeah, Jeremy Fears was built in a lab to play point guard. Let's call it what it is. We have 4 years left of eligibility with him. Who knows if we'll stay out 4 years. But if Tom Izzo doesn't win a national championship with Jeremy Fears as his point guard, then it's not happening. So That's
a pretty good way to look at it.
Yeah.
This is really it. And I think he's the guy. I think he will be the one. Maybe he'll win us too. Who knows?
He'll be the one.
Yeah.
Channeling a little Mark D'Antonio there, huh?
I like it.
He will be the
I
one.
like that. I like that. I was thinking about this today, and I wanted to ask you guys, who's your favorite player on this team?
I bounce around a lot. I think Cohen Carr is a safe pick. That's pretty easy. I mean, he brings the entertainment value every night.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference, even when he's not scoring and not throwing down dunks. Yeah. He's making a difference on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's an easy one to like, and he's upped his game too. He's at not quite where I think I would love him to be offensively, but he's added at least another dimension, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nicky, what about you?
It's so hard to say. There's so I mean, I feel like it's Fears.
I don't want to pick, but
like I feel like I wanted Fears is my favorite guy because he's the whole team. Like, he encapsulates the whole team. He's the leader.
Yeah, Fears for me too. But Chase Richardson, I think I really like him. And I have a soft spot for Booker. I don't know why.
It's hard to go wrong. You can't really go wrong with a pick, honestly.
Yeah.
I really like Zapala.
Yeah, he's been great. He has been fantastic.
He's just an old-fashioned man. Like, he's just goes to work.
Our bigs have been such a difference this year. It's so different than last year and the year before.
Yeah, absolutely. So after Penn State, I guess I should have Illinois. That's a big
Illinois.
one.
A huge one.
It is a big one.
That'll be good because I feel like, I mean, not that these other Big Ten schools are not good competition, because I mean we're only winning by 7, but I feel like Washington, Northwestern, Penn State's, those aren't the games that you bunker down on the couch and be like, this is a big one. But Illinois on Sunday. It's nice not to have to deal with the Lions and Michigan State on the same day.
Yeah.
There's
already a lot of Detroit sports going on Saturday.
A lot. Yeah. Any parting thoughts on basketball? Anything we didn't touch on that you guys have on your mind?
Let's win this game.
Yeah. Finish them.
Yeah. Basketball's a grind, man. It's
I do have something to say. It's how you know we're spoiled as fans, because it just Michigan State being good just feels right. Like, it just feels like this is how things are supposed to be.
Right.
When it's like, okay, good, I'm gonna move on with my day. And when we lose, how it's been the last few years, it's just been like pure dread.
Oh yeah.
Like just 3 months, kind of like how football's been. But football's always a treat. Basketball is like our birthright to be good.
Amen. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, there has been some post-bad loss depression in the past few years, to say the least.
Yeah.
It's
been tough sledding, but it's good to be back to close to where we should be. But if that's it for basketball, I think it's time for Miss the Vis.
Should we maybe touch on a little bit of the Detroit Lions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we could do that
first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good call, Nicky. I mean, this is I don't think we could have asked for much better. I think I would have, after seeing the Packers play, I would have loved to play them, because I mean they were
awful,
injured. Jordan Love looked terrible. His mechanics look way off. But I mean, here we are, two home games to play in the Super Bowl. I mean, one against a team that were favored by 10 points, and then we'll worry about the next team after this, but you get to go one game at a time. But couldn't ask for much better. I mean, a rookie quarterback who does scare me. I mean, I'd be lying if I wasn't a little afraid.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. But at the same time, our offense should be able to have their way with their defense, with the Washington defense, pretty easily.
Yeah, this is the 30th ranked.
30th ranked run defense against Montgomery and Gibbs is not a recipe for winning games. And Goff's been operating like a surgeon outside of that Texans game. So plus we have those we have a pretty deep and reliable receiving core now. So I don't want to get like ahead of myself, but I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah.
And I'm excited a lot.
Yeah, I felt really good about it. But then I read an article. Someone say they picked the Redskins, or not the Redskins, the Commanders to win the game, and I was like, oh shit, I guess they made some good points. I mean, Jaden Daniels is legit. I mean, it's not. It's not. I will say it's not Sam Darnold. Definitely a threat. But Nicky, where's your head at?
Yeah, it's just. Oh, I can't even like fathom a loss. Like
Right.
I would be so.
That's the scariest part.
Oh my
Like-
god! Yeah, that makes me a little nervous, honestly. But
Like
Yeah.
it's just again like I mean that's how it is every game now. Like we have to win. Like
Yeah.
oh yeah,
that's why I feel like I'm only nervous because I'm mostly nervous from like external pressure of like
Yeah.
shit's real. Shit is
Yeah.
not.
yeah.
The season started. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 15-2.
Any given Sunday, we gotta play to win. Stay healthy and win.
Yep. Yeah. Getting I think I don't know how much they'll use Montgomery, but it's nice to have him back. I think with the Commanders having the 30th ranked rush defense in the league, you have to think the game plan is Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and just keep Jaden Daniels off the field as much as possible.
That wouldn't be a bad strategy. Yeah,
The Lions win 21-10, 21-14. I mean, I don't really care how they win, how much they win by, just to win. But, and I even want to talk about who I'd rather play, the Eagles or the Rams. That's a conversation for
Sunday. That is
Sunday.
For Sunday. Yeah.
That is a
Sunday.
classic Sunday.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous thinking about it.
I know.
Every second inches closer, I get more nervous.
That's how I am. Like the worryometer just keeps going. Like the
worryometer.
The closer I get is just like it just keeps going. Oh gosh.
Yeah. I'm confident, but at the same time, I'm gonna be nervous. Gonna be nervous until the clock hits 0 at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Commanders, I mean, they're kind of similar to us in that they'll go for it on fourth down. They're pretty aggressive in terms of the play calling.
Dan Quinn been to a Super Bowl before too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, at Ford Field, this is a take care of business type game. I mean, you're favored by 10 points. You just get the job done.
Yeah, I would expect to break the decibel record and have half the crowd end up having to buy hearing aids after that game.
Yeah. Yeah. A big conversation on 97.1 this week is if they make it to the NFC Championship, how are you watching that game? Like, are you watching it by yourself, one or two guys? Are you going to a party? Would you want to be at the game? Like, what's your guys?
I will probably be with Vess.
The NFC Championship, yeah. I mean, we watched 2 of the 3 playoff games last year together. The other one, I was flying back from a funeral, so I had no choice. But,
I like the kind of an intimate, maybe 1 or 2 guys are by myself on the couch. I don't really want to go to a bar and watch it. I just need to be in my own space.
Nicky, if we go to a bar, we are not changing bars this time.
No, that was a
Can't
huge.
do that.
I still partially blame us.
Yeah.
Yep. There's plenty of things that I did that I would blame myself too.
Cinnamon rolls better be.
Look, I've already got them. They're in the fridge. They're ready to go.
They're ready.
I mean, they're ready.
Did you not make cinnamon rolls before the NFC Championship?
I know I did.
Damn it!
So now it's back on us, Nicky. Damn it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, unfortunately. But I called my parents at halftime to see how they were doing. And I also looked at, I think the Chiefs had played before us and already
did.
Yeah. And I looked at, like, whenever a team makes a Super Bowl, Nike always releases like this really cool, like, Super Bowl edition apparel. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I wonder what the Chiefs look like, to get an idea of what ours might look like. And that's like, as soon as I did that, is when everything went down the drain.
Oh, halftime. Miss and I were talking about the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah.
in my mind, in my mind, we were in the Super Bowl.
We were sitting there in the ball. We're like we've watched every other game. First half at one place, second half at another place. We got to go somewhere else now.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. It didn't work.
When the superstition gets you, that's
all we did was go across the street.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm a superstitious person. I could not. It's
But yeah, we were talking Super Bowl at that point. I was like,
yeah,
man, I'm gonna buy a ticket to Vegas. Let's go.
I fell into my own trap. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta win, man.
We just gotta win. It's pretty simple. I mean, we have a better team than they do. It's like X's and O's, Jimmy's and Joe's. We've got them both, I think. And this is just a take care of business. Like I said, everyone do your job. I trust they'll have a good game plan. And I think like you said, Trav, the offense should really, I mean, again, if we get 4 stops, I think that we should win the game pretty handily. Yeah.
This is a team that goes about its business. I trust them to go about their business and take care of business.
Agreed.
That's something that feels scary to say about the Lions after 30 years, but
it's weird to trust them
where we are.
Yeah,
it's a good time to be a Detroit sports fan, man.
It is
crazy.
Yeah.
Although Red Wings, please don't start Willy again.
Oh,
I
can't do it.
Want to see that man in the net.
Can't do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, they wasted an opportunity last night. Now they got to go on the road for 4 games. Pistons though, game and a half out of the 4 seed. They're looking pretty good.
Yeah. Cade is doing some great stuff.
Finally, kind of coming into his own. Yeah. All right, Miss the Vis.
There we go.
Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss the Vis.
All right. Today's Miss the Vis. We are doing the top 10 all-time Michigan State assist leaders. So not single
assist
season.
Leaders. Ooh. Oh, all time. Okay. Not single season. All 4 years or however long they were there. Yeah.
So what I'll do for a hint is I will just name 1 year they were there.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm gonna go from 10 to 1.
10 to 1.
Give the amount of assists, which is not going to really help at all, but it's nice to just give a picture. Then I'll give 1 year.
Okay.
So number 10 with 555 assists. He played his freshman season was 2005 to 2006.
The only name that's coming to mind is not what I don't think is right. Drew Neitzel.
Nope.
I figured his freshman year was the year before that, I think.
It's Travis Walton.
Wouldn't have thought of that. Wouldn't have thought that.
Number 9 with 558. His sophomore year was 2008 to 2009.
Oh, this is career. Okay. Yeah. That also threw me off for a second. Sophomore year, 2008, 2009. Let's see. No, he's got to have more than that. I hate my answers right now. The only names I can think of, I feel like would have more than that. So I'm just going to throw out Darrell Summers. It's not right, but I don't care.
Kalen Lucas.
I thought he had way more than that. That's why I was, that was the first name that came to mind. And I was like, no, he has to be like the top 5.
Well, now you know. Go with your gut.
Yeah.
Number 8, you might not know this one. Number 8, he played. I'm just going to tell him all 4 years he played. 1988 to 89 was his freshman. 1991 to 1992 was his senior. So those 4 years.
I mean, the only name I could think of at that time was Steve Smith.
Nope.
That's
It's
not
Mark
it.
Montgomery.
Yeah. Wouldn't have gotten that one. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Get up.
Number 7, freshman year, 2004 to 2005, 582 assists.
That's got to be Drew Neitzel.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
Number 6, this one again, tough years. He played 599. He played 1991 to 1992 his freshman year, 1994 to 1995 his senior year.
Oh God, I don't even know if I don't know if these are years. No. What number did you say this was?
Number 6.
6.
1991 to 9. His first year was 1991. Last year, 95.
I don't know. I don't even have a guess for that.
All right, I give another hint. He is related to many other MSU athletes. It's Eric Snow.
Oh.
Oh,
I have no idea if he's related.
many.
To other,
Two is many. Yeah.
I have no idea. If
Yeah.
he's
No, I didn't know what years he played there. So
That's fair.
yeah. I don't know.
Number
This
5.
is awful. This is awful. I look
Number
like a
5
fucking
is a good
moron.
one. 609 assists. His freshman year was 2020 to 2021. Number 5.
Okay. Freshman year 2020, 2021. Who was even in that class? This is a terrible category.
20 to 21, 21 to 22, 22 to 23, 23 to 24. This one's easy.
No.
Is it? I can't even think of who was in our 2020 class.
He smokes some good tree.
Oh,
I was gonna
Hogard?
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought he would be anywhere near that. Okay.
Number 4.
Too much tree to have that many assists.
I know. That's why it's tricky. Number 4. I just said Denzel Valentine.
I'm counting it. This has been so bad. I'm counting that one.
Okay, number 3. You're not going to know this one. Number 3, 1982 to 1983 was his freshman year. 645 assists.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't even know who was on the team back then. Scott Skiles.
Yep, that's right.
I don't know. I have no idea what years he was on the team.
There you go, Trav.
Between the 80s and the 90s, I have no idea who was on what.
Number 1 and number 2 are easy. Number 1 and number 2 are easy. Number 2, 816 assists. This is the only hint I'm going to give you, because if I give you the years for these two, you'll know it. I mean, it's one of 2.
Is it the younger one or the older one?
I was going to say it's the older one.
Okay, so Magic.
It's Mateen.
Oh, okay. So it's one of 3 then.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Did Magic play for enough time to?
That's true. That's probably not, but at the same time, who you think of when you think Michigan State top
I would have
basketball players?
I would have
Number
said
Yeah.
one.
Well, that he said it was the older one though, so I said Magic.
Number 1, 890 assists. Say the name.
Yeah, it's Cassius.
And he's going to be number 2 after Jeremy Fears.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
That's okay.
Let's,
They're meant to stump you.
Let's erase this from the bank.
Hey, no. That just shows how many good players.
I should lose my fan card for that one.
Hey, I don't think anybody would have guessed those.
You're meant to get some wrong. We wouldn't want to get them all right every episode.
Oh, I do.
Was the point of
Absolutely
doing the bit? Okay, time for the picks.
I guess so. Fucking play the video, god damn it.
Okay, so I finally caught up on my accounting.
Yeah, here it is.
To circle back.
There
you go.
Put me in an even worse mood.
Yeah, so Nicky obviously with a very, very impressive 130, 115. I just snuck over the 500 mark with a nice week last week, going 7-2. And then Trav, only 7 games below 500. I mean, you're right there. A good week this week, you could get back.
I deserve the old Yeller treatment for that.
Yeah, yes.
God.
You deserve to die for being under 500.
Like literally like the most gamblers would ever do. Would all fall in the same category.
Well, first to worst.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of games to pick. So just to recap, during like the bowl game stretch, we did most of the bowl games, some NFL playoff games. Nicky went 12-8, Trav 7-13. I went 12-8. And then last week's picks were mostly NFL playoffs and college football playoffs. Nick 5-4, Trav 6-3, 7-2 for me. All right, so for this week, we've got a smattering of college. We've got one college football game, some NFL games. I included a couple over-unders this week. Since the Michigan State game started before we were recording, I had everyone text their picks. So we all picked Michigan State to cover, which is not looking great right now, but still 4 minutes left. Trav had the score at 85-60. Nick has the score 81-63.
Yeah.
Willy 86-62. So Penn State outscoring our projections so far. But first game we're going to go with NFL playoffs. Texans at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 8.5.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ride with the Chiefs. No explanation there.
That's a classic. Tough to bet against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't really. It's Chiefs at home with a week rest. Really 2 weeks because they didn't play the starters. Week 18. Next game, Rams at Eagles. Eagles are favored by 6.
Screw it. I'll say the Rams make it tight. I got the Eagles winning, but
I think the Rams win.
I am with Nicky. I think the Rams win. So I'll go on the Rams there. All right, next one, back to the AFC. Ravens at Bills. Ravens favored by 1 on the road.
Oh, wow.
Damn, that's a tough one. Holy shit. No, it's like a coin flip for me, so I'll just go Buffalo. Got family that's Buffalo fans, so
there you go.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Pick opposite of me. It's worked out for you all year.
That would work well. Man, Lamar's playing. I mean, this is Lamar's this is going to be a test for him. I think he's having his best season of his career. But to date, these are the kind of the games where he's been a letdown. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the Bills. But that's a tough one. That's an interesting line. All right, I'm going to save the Lions for last. Next game is the CFP College Football Playoff Championship. Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Ohio State favored by 8.
Wow, that's a big line, but yeah, I think Ohio State covers.
I think it's gonna be close. I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
Yeah, I just don't know if Notre Dame can score enough. They need to cover this, but maybe a late touchdown to cover the spread. I'll go Notre Dame as well. Okay, same game, Ohio State, Notre Dame, over under 45.5 points.
Under.
Under.
I'll go over just to be on the opposite side here. Okay. Did Penn State, Michigan State. All right. Lions, Commanders, over under 55.5.
I mean, the Lions will get that on their own, right? No. Let's see. I will go over on that.
Yeah, over. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'll do the under to be on the opposite side. Okay. Now the one everyone's been waiting for, I'm sure. The Washington Commanders travel to Ford Field to take on the Detroit Football Lions. This line opened at 7 or 8.5. The Lions are now up to 10-point favorites at home for this one. All right, Lions minus 10.
We going with scores here too, or
yes. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I meant to say that. Scores.
Okay. I say Lions 38, Washington 20.
I do not think the Lions are going to cover. I do think they're going to win. I think it's going to be a stressful one. I'm going to go 41-38. Restore the roar.
Wow, high scoring.
That is a stressful one.
That sounds like a stressful watch. I think 10 is a little too much for me. But I've picked the Lions every week, and they've gone 15-2. I think 8.5 or 7.5, I think would be a no-brainer. I'm going to go with the Lions. Stay the course. Lions 27, Washington 14.
That would be an impressive defensive performance.
Yeah, you're right. But I also took the under, so I kind of had to make that work somehow. So there you have it. I mean, it's going to be it'll be stressful. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Washington or Lions on Saturday, Michigan State Sunday, a good sports weekend, but it's not going to be, it's not going to be one of those ones that you say, I'm so excited to watch these games. It's going to be, they're going to be stressful ones, boys, but hopefully we take care of business.
Yeah. I don't want this good feeling going away. So let's get it going.
And another game, Michigan State hockey on Saturday as well.
Oh,
yes.
That's right,
so
and the Red Wings are in town to play the Stars on Sunday too.
Oh, there you go. A big sports weekend for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is it for episode 49. Check us out, of course, as always. YouTube, like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcasts. I don't need to name them at this point. Apple, Amazon, Spotify. You know the drill. College Huddle. Of course, as well. Plenty of other great podcasts and content to check out there as well. But with that, for Nicky and Trav, go green, baby. Go Lions.
Go white.
Go white.
Go Lions.
Forward down the field.
This game is way too close for 1 minute and 45 seconds left.
Yeah, I don't like